Michaela from Team Retro, where we like retro games and we like the devices that bring them to us. So the moment is finally here. I got a package in the mail just yesterday, and this package contains probably one of the most interesting handhelds to grace my desk this year. And I have been looking forward to making this video for about a week. And here it is, the handheld to end all handhelds. The McDonald's Tetris McNuggie. That's right, this is the handheld that is officially licensed by Tetris and is offered in McDonald's in China. And you can't currently get this in the US. I had to import this from the E of Bay because this handheld is making itself known in the Retro Handhelds Discord to the point where Stubbs himself has changed his Discord name to Stubbs McNugs. So what do we do here at Team Retro when a ridiculous handheld gains traction? Yep, we buy ourselves a Tetris McNuggie, but you know what? We also buy ourselves some actual chicken nuggies from McDonald's, and we get ourselves some sweet and sour sauce. And we're gonna do an in-depth review. Let's see what the Tetris McNuggie can do. Let's dive in, and let's get to work. Alright, let's start by taking a little tour around the box. You could see right here that it's got the official Tetris logo, and it has the McDonald's logo on the back with the word Go on the sides. Taking a look at the back of the box, there's a lot of text written in Chinese, but you can also see on the bottom that this is an official Tetris product. Alright, let's go ahead and open this up and let's take a look. Right off the bat, first impressions is this is a chunky boy. I was not expecting this to be the beefy nugget that it is, but I don't know, nugget of wisdom, I guess? Expect your Tetris McNuggie to be on the bigger side. So here it is in all its nuggety glory, the Tetris McNuggie. Let's go ahead and open up the bag here, and let's see what else we have. Here's the device itself, again, looking surprisingly chonky. Let's go ahead and put that aside for a minute and see what else comes in this packaging. So you do get a set of instructions here, and you also get some stickers, so you could put your name on this. You could also put Grimace or Ronald McDonald, whatever you want. So let's take a closer look at the directions here, and there is an English translation right underneath the Chinese text. So I actually really appreciate that they put the directions in English here. And then inside you have an age limit, 8+, and some other Chinese text. But I kind of like the way that they put directions for the controls in there, especially for that double down arrow. You need to make sure you know what that double down arrow can do. Spoiler alert, it makes the Tetris pieces go down quick. Taking a closer look at the screen here, this is a monochrome screen. It does not appear to be OCA laminated, and the screen protector is definitely made of some cheap plastic. It's not the best looking, but considering this is a Happy Meal toy, I shouldn't be surprised. Now let's go ahead and take a look at these buttons, and man, these are some yucky buttons to push. They're very mushy, but they have way too much travel with them, and when you push one down, the others seem to go down a little bit with them. If we were to compare these buttons to, say, a Nintendo Joy-Con, which has the same separate arrow type buttons, you'll notice that these are a lot clickier, and they are definitely a lot more responsive. There's not as much travel to them. And with the McNuggie, you just definitely have a subpar set of arrow buttons here. They're just very unpleasant to push, which is unfortunate. Continuing our device tour, you have this big button on the bottom right that serves as the rotation button, and this is also not very friendly to push, and there's a lot of wobble there, which makes me very concerned about the overall responsiveness of it. Ergonomically, this is an awkward device to hold, which I guess is to be expected, but you can see I don't really have a good place to put my index fingers. Let's take a look at the back of the device. You have one rear-facing speaker, you have a compartment for AAA batteries, and you have a manual on-off switch. Now let's go ahead and compare this to some other small handhelds. Let's start with the Mini, which is actually a little bit smaller than the McNuggie, but it also has a bigger screen. And the same holds true for the Anbernic 280V. It's a smaller device, and it probably best matches the Nuggie's ergonomics, but again, it has a bigger screen. Actually, if we take a device like the Anbernic 35XX and we compare the two side by side, you'll notice that this is the device that more closely matches the Tetris McNuggie in size. However, you also get a bigger color screen that's OCA laminated and some much better buttons and D-pad controls. And guess what? This could play Tetris too. Now let's go ahead and grab Scaly here, and you'll notice that the Tetris McNuggie comes in at about 102 grams, making it more on the lightweight side, which makes sense given the materials that it's made out of. So now let's compare this to the Anbernic RG35XX, which comes in at about 168 grams, and we're also going to compare this to the Mini, which comes in at about 106 grams. So the McNuggie is only slightly lighter than the Mini. The Anbernic RG280V comes in a little bit heavier at about 128 grams. However, the lightest comparison I can make is an actual chicken McNuggie, which comes in at a very light 12 grams and is also debatable whether this is edible or not. Now let's go ahead and compare a couple of price points. The Mini comes in at about 65 plus if you can find it in stock and depending on where you buy it from. Whereas the McNuggie right now will cost you about 25 plus. I paid about $30 for mine. The Anbernic RG280V starts at about $70. Now, let's keep in mind with both the Mini and with the 280V, you could play much more than just Tetris. Let's go ahead and compare this to the Anbernic RG35XX, which also comes in at about $70 plus and gives you an arguably better Tetris experience. And while these handhelds have a clear and distinct advantage over the Tetris McNuggie, they are not a $25 to $30 Tetris McNuggie. And I don't know, I guess if you want to just play Tetris on a black and white handheld, then this is the way to go. Now consequently, a 10-piece chicken McNugget, a quarter pounder with cheese, a medium fry, and a Diet Coke cost me about $25.50. However, I did have a tummy ache after eating all this terrible food, so one might argue that the McNuggie is a better investment. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this device on. And right off the bat, I did not expect it to play the Tetris theme, but sure enough, there it went. Now you seem to only have two sound levels, off and on, and music doesn't seem to play while you're actually playing the game. The sound effects are very decent, however, and This is definitely more of a Tiger handheld experience. So I'm going to go ahead and let this play for a few seconds just so you can get a feel for what playing Tetris on the Tetris McNuggie is actually like. Now, unlike past Tetris games I have played, when you lose, it actually tells you good job instead of game over. It really tries to encourage you to want to continue playing Tetris, and I really do enjoy the fact that they use 2 exclamation points and give you this nice little heart at the end. So even if your high score is not that great, you definitely do feel good after playing it because of all the positivity. So, with that, let's talk about what works well and what needs work. And it's kind of hard to find a lot of positives here, but let's face facts. It's a Tetris Nuggie. What is not awesome about a Tetris Nuggie? That, and I actually really like the double down button here. I like that they actually got rid of the up button because it's not really all that needed. I mean, who uses up buttons in games anyway? It's totally overrated. Double down is the new up. And the price on these handhelds are relatively low right now if you are looking to import them. However, if you are in China, you can probably just go to a McDonald's and get this much cheaper. Now let's talk about what needs work. Unfortunately, ergonomics are not great, and neither are the buttons. They're not as responsive as I would like, and they're just very mushy and just very cheap compared to other handhelds out there. And I think as time goes on, the Tetris McNuggie is going to be harder and harder to find, and the price might actually start to go up from third-party sellers. I don't anticipate this to be more than a limited edition thing, as what typically happens with McDonald's toys. And who's to say if we're actually going to get a Tetris McNuggie here in the US or in other countries besides China? And so it's really up to you to decide if you're really interested in a handheld that just plays one game, if you want to strike while the iron is hot, or if you want to wait to see if availability will increase and risk this becoming more rare. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Is the Tetris McNuggie a win in your book, or is this going to be a hard pass? Or have you doubled down and ordered 2 of these? And if you want to continue the conversation, you can do so in the Retro Handhelds and the Steam Machine Discord. It's usually where I hang out in between videos, and there's actually a dedicated thread in the Retro Handhelds Discord specifically for the McNuggie. But that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if this video was helpful to you in any way, please be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, bye for now, and don't stop believing.